Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather round for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Where Yinz Goin podcast, proudly brought to you by Dreams by Design Travel. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh to the furthest corners of the globe, that'll be your compass, your confidant, your companion in that as we explore the wonders of travel. Kick back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust wash over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Dreams by Design Travel by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt on the Where Yinz Goin podcast because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shout for your guide through the highways and byways of travel, the man with a map, the voice of the steel city, Matt Trader.
How you doing? Welcome to the Where Yinz Goin podcast, brought to you by Dreams by Design Travel. I'm Matt. I'm your host. Joining me today are Katie and Stephanie. Both are travel advisors with Dreams by Design Travel, who got to spend several days in Jamaica visiting a few Sandals and Beaches Resorts. So welcome to the podcast, ladies.
Thank you.
So I like to start every podcast with this question. What is your favorite place that you've ever visited, or is there a place you would most like to visit? So Stephanie's already been on. Depending on where this podcast falls, Katie might have been on already. We recorded one with Katie already. But ladies, if you want to either reiterate what you said before, or if we have another nomination that you'd like to throw out there, please go right ahead. Katie, you want to start?
Sure. I have got a river cruise on my mind lately. I would like to do a river cruise on the Rhine. I think that's been something I've been like doing some quotes on and everything like that. And I've got travel jealousy going on. So I think that one might be one of my top ones right now. But it always changes just depending on what my clients tell me they want to go do. I'm like, hey, do you mind if we pack an extra bag? I'll come along with you. So
do you have a cruise line in mind that you'd like to go with?
I really like Amaway Waterways.
Mm-hmm.
I like their how their excursions are all included and there's several different choices and everything like that. And I like a lot of their itineraries. The Holland one with the tulips sounds amazing.
Awesome. Stephanie?
So I think that my next favorite place to visit is Alaska. So I've done so many beach vacations, and I know, Katie, you just went to Alaska, and I have done a ton of Alaska cruises for clients, but I've never experienced one myself. So I think it's time for me to go to Alaska.
Do you have anywhere specific you'd like to visit when you go up there?
No, the scenery I know is gorgeous and it's not hot. So I think that's what I'm looking for, because one of my other favorite destinations that I would like to go to is Iceland. So if you've noticed, the theme here is I'm trying to escape the sun and the heat. So those are two, and both cold. I just want to see the snow and the glaciers. I really want to do like the helicopter where you land on the glacier and you get off. And
yeah, I have a couple who just got back this past weekend from 2 weeks. They did a week stay in Alaska and then did a cruise. So combination. So from what I heard, they had the little bits I've heard from them, because they were having a good time, that they enjoyed it. My dad did a 2-week fishing trip there last year too, and he raved about it. So
yeah, that would be fun. My dad actually worked in Alaska years ago when he was, right out of high school, got on a fishing boat and went up there and worked, but he never really talks about it.
So today's episode, we're going to talk about both sandals and beaches. So we're going to go back to warm weather for you. Just to give a little bit of background on sandals, is that it is adults only. It's all inclusive. They have several different resorts all throughout the Caribbean. We'll hit on that in a little bit. But depending on which one you go to, you can have up to 16 restaurants and 11 bars. All meals are included. Stock bars in your room, premium liquors, and house wines. They have a bunch of entertainment, Wi-Fi, butler services available. There's also Club Sandals you can join. They have airport transfers, and all tips and gratuities are included. So whole lot of stuff that you get for it. While you're there, we were just talking about this before we started recording, is that it's more than just, hey, come here and sit on the beach and do nothing all day. That there's a whole lot to do at these resorts. Scuba diving, where you can actually get certified at Sandals to be a scuba diver. They have a bunch of water sports, golf, a bunch of things to do on land, including pickleball. Can't forget pickleball. And then there are some extras you can add on to, like private candlelit dinners, local adventure tours. You can go around whichever island you're on. They have the Red Lane Spa and Snuba. So SNUBA, which is an underwater snorkeling. So there's a hose attached to you, so you don't have to worry about carrying the tank or anything like that. So with Sandals, they have 18 resorts on 9 different islands. Some of the newer ones are St. Vincent. There are 7 resorts on Jamaica, which we're going to talk about. Negril and South Coast are the 2 that are going to be our main focus. But Dunn's River is also new there, and then Curacao is also new. Well, Royal Curacao is how it's pronounced, is the name of the resort. Beaches is Sandals' sister resort. It's open to all ages, so 18 under 18 can come. They have, again, what's more family friendly, so they have water parks, kids and teen camps, Sesame Street characters, and there's 3 resorts, 2 on Jamaica, 1 on Turks and Caicos, and we're going to talk about the Negril one also on this episode. So, ladies, what were your impressions? We'll start with Sandals, and let's go with South Coast first. I believe that was the first one you went to.
So we, yeah, so we actually stayed at Negril. That's where our home was for those 3 days that we were there. But South Coast, we did go there visit, and it is comparing the 2 from Negril, South Coast was much bigger. It was a much bigger resort, and like okay, remember there's more property to walk around in. I guess there was, I think, some more shopping and more restaurants. It's definitely a bigger location than Sandals Negril. But I thought that South Coast was beautiful in everything about it.
The beach felt definitely bigger at South Coast, like a lot, not just longer, but like wider, like a lot more beach space. And South Coast has those beautiful, beautiful on the water bungalows that, I mean, they just take your breath away. They're everything that you think about, like a tropical vacation, are these bungalows that sit out over the water, and your bed, you step into the room and the bed has like it's not a skylight, it's a floor light, and it's the ocean water that you can see everything swimming around underneath you and stuff like that. Just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous rooms there.
For sure. And those ones, because those are butler level rooms, right? Like you could not leave your bungalow. You could just stay in your bungalow the entire time. You have the outdoor seating area. There's like a hammock that you can lay in, and the butler could treat you to everything, and you could just never leave your room. I don't think I would if I was staying in that. I think I would just relax on that porch all day. Maybe jump in the water.
And they have the over the water bungalows in several locations. And the neat thing about most of them, at least, maybe if not all, is that the bungalows are, well, the group of bungalows are heart shaped. So it's like on a little pier that goes out, and the heart when seen from above.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have like at least at South Coast, they had kind of a private little beach area too, that you walked across the pier, and then it was just off kind of to the side where you could be away from, and it wasn't really, they're not crowded. Like it's not like a beach vacation where you're trying to like jockey for a spot or anything like that. But these are really secluded, romantic, just a really nice little spot to kind of make your little home for 5 to 7 or the rest of the month, depending on how long you decide you want to get away for.
And as Katie mentioned with the floor light, yeah, it's the like a glass floor in a little rectangular area, so it's not the whole floor that you're looking at the whole time, but just like a sunlight or would have small area you can look up in, you can look down and see what's below you. Also, some of them, besides the hammock out front on the side, some of them have their own private little plunge pool you can get into. Uh, Depending on the location, some have little ladders you can go straight down into the water. So real nice little area.
Well, and those are like the best of the best rooms there, right? So those are like the nicest of the nice. But even just like I don't want to say standard because nothing with Sandals feels standard with their rooms. But even just like their just standard rooms are beautiful and well appointed, and the amenities are great in them, and you really feel like you're getting away from everything when you're there.
And just some of those other rooms that they have swim up suites where there's a big, well, there's a couple different versions of how they have it, but some of there's like a big long swimming pool type thing. I guess the best way I can describe it. And that you walk out, I guess the back, and the pool is right there. Some will have private little plunge pools that you can get in. So a small swimming pool just to cool off, take a dip. They have soak tubs that set on their little patios. As was mentioned, some of them have butler service. They have honeymoon suites. Some of them actually have little, I think it's an infinity pool. It's their little plunge pool is infinity pool. So some of the rooms just look so amazing. And then there's the views you can get too.
Yeah, I think I can't remember any of the rooms that we saw that I was not just like, oh my goodness, I need to stay here. Every room that we went into, obviously like the over the water bungalows were just, next to level, but even like just every room we saw, which regardless of its category, I was like, this is gorgeous. I need to stay here. So yeah, and regardless of any of them that you pick, they're all just like Katie said, they're just the perfect destination for a honeymoon or an anniversary or to just escape. I think like you're not going to get a bad room anywhere.
And some other things they offer is it doesn't even have to be a romantic getaway. If it's a girls' weekend to get away, or just want more of an adult family reunion, or a couple people, college buddies says, okay, let's just go away and get away from the kids. People you've been friends with forever. They have something for everyone, and they even do have some larger rooms that you can rent that will have for the more of that family atmosphere.
Those are like on the beaches side of them. Mm-hmm. So like your beaches resort is going to have one of them that we toured. You could correct me if I'm wrong, Stephanie. I think it was 16. Was it 16? Or
I think the largest one was 18 people.
Yeah, like you could bring together a huge group. And then like with that kind of a situation, if you did like the beaches Negral, you have access to Sandals. So if you want to go over to the adult section, if you're doing like an adult trip and you don't necessarily want to be at the pirate water slide all day long, you can go ahead and head over to Sandals and do all of the things that the adult inclusive resort allows, and then still have that space where you're all together at beaches. So
a little clarification on that, it would be only the adults who are going over to the Sandals area. So
right. So if you're bringing the kids, then the kids are staying there. So,
but if it is like a multi-generational stay, or so grandma's there with brothers and sisters, and then they have their kids, that it's like, hey, grandma, can you watch the kids for the next 2 hours? My wife and I are going to go over and have alone time away from kids for a bit.
I just saw a video that was the most important things you can pack on a family trip. And the thing that it said is pack grandma, because then you don't have to be in charge of everybody all day long. Grandma is like the best little secret to pack. So
that's true. I just did on a vacation with my mom and my son, and it's definitely nice to have the help.
Or the favorite aunt that's not married, or the favorite uncle.
Yeah, any
babysitter for a little bit.
Any friend would work, right?
I do want to go back to one thing both you alluded to, is that each of these Sandals and Beaches resorts has a different feel to it. That some of them are going to be bigger, some are smaller. So whenever you are planning your getaway, not only do you have to think about, okay, which island would I like to go to, but also what atmosphere would I like to experience. So I don't want one that's a resort that's a little bit more quiet, or a little one that's a little bit more of a party, upbeat atmosphere. And then also the restaurants that they offer, and the different water sports and land sports. If there's something you want to specifically go to, then that will also help guide you to where you eventually want to stay.
So I know like some of them on Jamaica have access to golf courses. So if golf is your thing, then you would want to definitely pick something like that. For me personally, I felt like South Coast had more kind of a like, I think that Negril was very much so lively and stuff, but South Coast has that big main pool that sits kind of in the center of everything. And it was hopping when we were there, with lots of things going on and stuff like that. And it seemed like a really great, like, central meeting spot for people. And so it kind of had a more, at least on that day, it seemed like it had more of a party atmosphere. And I'm sure those things can kind of switch and everything like that. And when I say party, I'm not meaning like a spring break, college days kind of a thing, but more just like a lively atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure. Because Negril is also so much smaller. It's kind of a little bit more intimate. I don't know if that's the right, but it's, you don't have to walk very far. You can, come out of your room and the pool is just, a few feet of, everything is so much closer together. So when there's not as many people, because it's a smaller property. We got in the pool and I didn't feel like it was too party scene, like we even hung out by the pool bar and stuff. And I thought it was nice in there. I didn't feel like, like she said, spring break, I didn't feel like it was crazy. And that was at Negril though, not at South Coast. But yeah, South Coast pool is definitely much bigger.
And as Stephanie just mentioned, most, if not all of them, will have a pool with a swim up bar there. So if you need refreshment while you're relaxing in the pool, you don't have to get out. And going back, there was just a comment on within our company about someone planning a golf trip with Sandals on Jamaica, and Ochi and Dunn's River are probably the closest to the one big golf course that you would go to. Although Royal Plantation is also not too far away either. So if anyone's planning. So with the pools, they will offer several pools at each resort. There's usually one big one that is the main pool, and then they have a bunch of side ones. There are, as I mentioned, swim up bars in them. There are some that have infinity pools. And if you're there, really neat that it's the infinity, or it's a pool that has the glass siding to it on the one end that you can actually look into it and look at. I think that was pretty neat.
Yeah, South Coast actually has 3 pools and 1 scuba pool, because they have a separate pool for that. That's only for your lessons for scuba. And then 4 whirlpools, which I'm assuming is hot tubs.
Always nice to go and relax in one of those.
And a lounger, like you said, the swim ups, those are nice. You have your own little lounger right outside that's kind of halfway in the water, so you can sit partially in the water and be all nice and cool right out of your room, and then just go back into your room.
And a lot of these rooms have a wall that will open up, so it's more of like an open air type thing that you don't have to go out through a door. You just spread that open, then you can even just lay in your bed and just look out. It's like, you're right outside. Your room is part of the outdoors, so it turns into sort of your own little cabana type thing.
For sure. I mean, they have like the way that they've set up a lot of the rooms, definitely the beach feels like it's part of your, so you have like, and a lot of them, you have your swim or your little private little pool area. And then even just a little bit further is the beach and the ocean. So I can imagine that waking up in the morning with the sound of the waves and everything like that is just really kind of the way that you picture paradise, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the nice things about any beach vacation. If you get a hotel room that's close to the water is just hearing the waves, both waking up to it and going to sleep to it, and just relaxing in the evening and just hearing that noise coming, or the sound of that coming through the window. It's just so relaxing and peaceful. And the names of the rooms at Sandals can get really, really long. They are super descriptive. So if you want to know what is included in that room, read the whole name. Walkout room with butler service and a plunge pool and a soaking tub, and it lists everything. So you know what you're getting.
Well, and those butlers are like incredible. They know, you tell them what your likes are, your dislikes, what you want, and they're just right there, like with everything that you can possibly imagine. I watched the butlers set up their little area at the pool with their chairs and everything like that, and their drinks and stuff like that before their guests arrive. And it really is this really exclusive, like your special feeling that you don't get everywhere. And they're super friendly too. They're so nice and accommodating, and they want their guests to have the best experience and the most relaxing, leisurely feeling of just being on vacation.
Yeah, I think you get like a phone too, so you can call your butler whenever you might want something. Like they're not just going to be like, hanging out with you the whole day. Like they're going to give you the space that you need to have, to have your own vacation, but they give you that phone. So if you need something, or, you want to go to dinner at a certain time, or you want dinner in your room, you can always just call them from wherever you are.
I forget which resort it was at, but there's in one of their pools kind of like stepping stones that go through the pool, and there was a picture of one of the butlers walking on those stepping stones across the pool, to get across to deliver something. And I posted a picture of, like, at whatever resort it is, the butlers will walk on water for you. So
Yeah,
It's true. The staff at the Sandals Resorts, all of them, from the people that bring your luggage to your room, to the front desk, to the wait staff, to the I don't know the lifeguards, but like the pool staff, all of those things, they're just there trying to make sure that you have the most amazing trip. Even the excursion desk at Negril, I stopped and talked to the ladies there for a few minutes, and they're just so happy to answer questions and help and make things wonderful for their guests.
no, with the pools too, depending on the location you're going to go to, some of them have their little cabanas that you can rent right along the side of the pool, or use along the side of the pool, or little lounge areas. I'm not sure if it was on the Jamaica ones. There's so many of them.
Yeah, they're all different. You're talking about like with each pool at every Sandals resort is unique in its own way, and they are all different. So it's about finding the right one that's for your needs.
Or for your fantasy. That I know that whenever we went on our honeymoon, my wife and I, we, well, she's from Indonesia, so we were over there to begin with the wedding ceremony. And so we went to Thailand, and the resort we stayed at, we chose it specifically because they had a specific infinity pool with a specific view that my wife said, all right, I want that because that looks gorgeous. I'm going to just spend my whole time there. So as you're planning this, if there's something that, catches your eye of, oh my gosh, that's just so amazing, I want to be in that location, it's another nice way to pick your destination.
Well, and for sure, like if our clients give us a list of the things that they want, or even just the things that they dream about, it's pretty easy to fulfill those dreams with the Sandals Resort. We can match up a lot of your things of what you think, picture like the perfect beach vacation, easily with one of the Sandals Resorts, because they really do, they thought about everything.
And there's actually a feature that we have in our end of the Sandal stuff for the planning that you can go through, and at least for the dining, you can click off which types of food you would like to eat, and it'll pop up with, oh, you would like something that has both American, Italian, and French. these resorts have restaurants that would cater to that. And we'll go through that a little bit later on, but there's a big list of the different types of food you can get in different restaurants that they offer.
Mhm.
So was there any specific, besides the over the water bungalows, was there another type of room that stood out to you or a feature of a room?
Oh, so the room, Katie, that when I'm pretty sure this was the newer room was it at Negril that had where were you the plunge pool or in was an infinity edge pool was like right outside the master bedroom. It was like a one bedroom, and then you could go all the way. It had a rooftop through that one.
It had what I call like the Rapunzel staircase in it. Like it's like her hair that kind of like twirls down. Yeah, it had like the two levels, and up on top you could look out towards the beautiful blue ocean, and it was so gorgeous.
It was. That was probably one of my favorites because you had right outside your on the patio, you had a patio that had your private little infinity edged plunge pool. And then you were overlooking the ocean. And then you, like she said, we go upstairs and there was another like a day bed and like a table and a chair so you could go up there and see even more. Um, like like I said, what I said earlier, there wasn't any room that I didn't go into that I wasn't just, I need to be here. And so that one though is amazing.
Did those rooms also have the telescope on that little upper level, kind of like the roof thing? It might be at Dunn's River that they just opened. There was
Yeah,
one.
there was a telescope on it. I actually took a picture through the little viewfinder and stuff, and they were the our little uh, resort tour guide. He was like, "We don't put everything on it until the guests check in because they're so expensive, the pieces and stuff like that." And I don't know if I should have felt bad that he thought I was going to break it or what, but yeah, they have those. They're really cool.
Well, even when you first come into your room, like they have stuff already making you feel like we saw some of these rooms and, they already have, champagne or, something cooling for you on ice. And they have like a little snack type tray. So when you get there, if you're hungry, you need something to eat. So on arrival, they're already making you feel welcome and special and ready to relax and start your vacation. So there's with that, they always had like little food plates that they would have in there that was for them with fruit and cheese and stuff. So, I mean, I know for most of us traveling to anywhere in the Caribbean, the flights are kind of long. So it's nice to have that to immediately start relaxing the minute you get in your room.
One of the other rooms I really liked was the Long Beach rooms. So they're the ones that have, at least at South Coast, they have like the private soaking tub that sits just right out on the porch. And they're just, I mean, that's the thing is that you start talking about the rooms and there's none of them that you're like, oh man, I feel bad for you. You're having to stay here. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, and that's the thing, even and with the girl too, there was just so many different options that can meet your needs and everything like that you're looking for, but nothing. It's not like you're going to eat breakfast and you're like, oh, I'm so jealous of them. They're staying there because you're living a pretty sweet life where you're staying too. So
I think some of my favorites though are like the Rondavel rooms too. I really like those. The Rondavels don't have a beach view or anything, but they're almost like your own little casita now with your own little pool, like some flowers and trees out there, and it's like it's fenced in, so you're kind of even more private. But I really like the Rondavels at all of them actually, but I think that's a nice way to go, especially if you don't care about the views, but you want some of the other amenities like that on private pool. The Rondavels are great.
And on that note, that even if you have a room that does not have that spectacular view of the ocean, most of the Sandals resorts have areas throughout the resort that you can just go and lounge. There's one that has a couple of couches sitting around little fire pits that you can sit on near the beach and there's other ones that there's an over the water bar. But leading out to it on the little pier, there are little couch areas, and or even the one over the water bar has little like hammocks. You can go right next to that and just lounge there too. So there's always those other areas that if you would opt for one that doesn't have that spectacular view, that you can still enjoy that view at other points during the day.
Yeah, that's true. And everybody does vacation differently. Like if you are that you're going to sit at the beach in the pool, all day long, then you maybe don't need the room that has a private plunge pool, right? Maybe you just,
But you
yeah.
definitely want the room that the butler's bringing you the big old tub of sunscreen, right?
Oh yes, we saw the
That was
sunscreen. Oh my goodness.
they had a
I can't even think of how big that was. It's bigger than a milk jug. I mean, it's massive.
it's like a couple of salsas that you buy at Costco size. It's enough for Cinco de Mayo for 4 years worth of sunscreen. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of sunscreen, and they just have it ready and waiting for you. So if you're just stay at the pool or even at the big beach, they even have you covered with your sunscreen.
One less thing you have to pack or worry about bringing. So
For sure. It's the little things that matter, right?
So you're mentioning the food that they give you in the room. That made me kind of hungry. So let's talk about dining. So just a quick rundown of a few of the dining options that you can get and types of cuisine is with the Asian food, there's Japanese, Thai, and Indian. There's Caribbean food, there's American, if you want to, steak. There's Italian, which also includes pizza places, French, a British pub, seafood, and at some of them there's even food trucks. So go from the
Chicken dippers.
say it again, Stephanie.
That's chicken dippers, isn't that what it was called? The chicken, they're gluten free. Isn't that what the food truck? The chicken dippers, yeah.
I'll have to look it up. I know that they were there. I did not write the jot down the exact offerings they had at them.
I think that's what it's called. There's a food truck. I think that's the one.
So was there any of the specific restaurants that caught your eye or pleased your stomach, I guess?
So we did with our group that we were touring with at South Coast, we just did the buffet there for lunch. And I don't know, like you think buffet and you're like, oh, it's kind of just a buffet, but it had so many offerings, so many desserts that were beautiful, so many. The really great thing about at least in Jamaica is that they let you kind of sample some of the cuisine that is native to the area. And if you sit down and actually talk to the staff and stuff like that, they'll tell you, this is what we have for Christmas dinner. This is like the best of the best that we're offering up every night for you guys to enjoy. So I felt like I like options. I'm the girl that looks at a menu and says, oh, I'm going to regret ordering that, but I want to order that and that and that. And so having lots of little plates that were options were really great for me.
Yeah, same. The buffet was nice, I thought, and you could even they would make tacos for you, or they had anything that you pretty much, I mean, even if you just want chips and cheese or nachos, there's some basic things to some, like she said, like some native, jerk chicken or some other things that are native to the area that you're visiting. But desserts were fabulous. Everybody loves dessert. Um, and so when we were at South Coast, that was the only thing that we ate at South Coast was just the buffet.
But they had a really great Italian restaurant that was there. And I believe they had a French restaurant that was in the pavilion that you could choose from. That was one of if you talk to some of the guests, they said that that was one of their favorites. And then one night we ate teppanyaki.
Mhm.
And that was so nice. I mean, for me, a teppanyaki meal when we go out, that's a pretty like pricey meal. Like it's not like the most expensive thing that you go eat, but it's kind of nice to know. We ate dinner with a newlywed couple, and they were so happy because they were there, and she was like, "This is what I wanted to eat tonight," and they just went and they ate it. There was no like wondering whether or not like if they were going to have to trade this for that or that for this. It was just, it's all included in their stay.
And at South Coast, the Italian place is Giuseppe's, and the French place is at the Café de Paris.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
So, and Katie, what you said before about the FOMO you get with dining at new restaurants sometimes of, oh, this looks really good. Oh, but so does that. And so does this other thing. The buffet, rather than thinking of it in the, oh, it's a buffet, whatever, the alternatives looking at a buffet is, oh, I get to try little samplings of everything. So it's kind of like a tasting menu if you'd like. If you try some of, oh, yeah, this is really good. I'm going to have more of it then. So you get your second helping or third or fourth because vacation calories don't count. But
Yeah, that's exactly how I like to eat, is a little bit of everything. So that's where, yeah, the buffets are great because you can just sample so many different things and not have to always have such a big plate of food. And not everybody wants to eat a buffet every day, but it's great for lunch and just breakfast and, just grabbing something quick. I went and got some, and I can't remember what they're called. To give me a minute. Give me a second to think about it. But we had pizza. They made pizza for us. That was really good. You ordered your pizza. That was yummy.
Oven, like stone fire
Uh-huh.
pizza that was cooked like made to kind of order. And we had some really great like tacos and chips and salsa and guacamole. That just out sitting. I mean, everything tastes better when you're looking at the most perfect view of. My big joke was I was like, how many pictures can I take of the ocean that are like absolutely gorgeous before it's a little too much? It's kind of like the same thing when you go to Alaska and you take like hundreds of pictures of glaciers and icebergs and stuff. So
one thing that's about any destination that just think of my trips to Yosemite. How many times can I take a picture of El Capitan or Half Dome, or even going to Disney? Oh, I haven't taken this exact view of Cinderella's castle. I took the one from 5 feet over, but not this exact view. So
right.
different.
And there's lots and lots of beautiful beach views at a Sandals resort. So pretty.
If you string all your pictures together, maybe you can have like a flip book of it. You can like be walking down the beach and have a picture of like every perspective looking out.
So I remembered what those things that I got them at the buffet. They're called Jamaican patties, which is like, like a hot pocket, or an empanada, or it's got meat stuffed in it, and then it's all like a little pie. And those were really good, actually. I had actually had those before, but they bring those out a couple times a day, and there was a huge line. Everybody wanted them because they're like the most popular thing in Jamaica to eat.
I was afraid Stephanie was going to throw elbows.
But they were spicy because I know like Sue, who was with us as well, she thought it was really spicy. So, but I like spicy food.
So for the record, a little bit of a kick. Yeah, Sue was going to join us. She had a scheduling conflict, so we miss you, Sue. We'll have you on later on. One other nice thing about the food, with it being the all-inclusive, is I know not everyone likes to eat just their 3 big meals of the day, and you alluded that earlier. That some people want just a little bit of snack now, or I'm hungry here, I just want to try a little bit of this here. And so if you want to go at off times so that you can not get the food rush, or if you get hungry whenever, you can always just go and grab something because it is all included. And with the buffet, you can try just little bits again.
You shouldn't go hungry on a sandals vacation for sure. There's no reason to.
So they can also help to arrange, as I mentioned before, the candlelight dinners. So if you want something special, especially if you're on a honeymoon or anniversary or whatever, and you can even have your weddings there too. They do have wedding facilities.
We saw when we were there, we saw a couple of weddings, one at beaches, and I think that we saw one or two at the grill. And they're really gorgeous. Weddings at a Sandals resort are really reasonable too. Once your guests decide that they're going to stay with you, you can get a wedding starting at like $1,000. For and not just like $1,000 and like they're like, hey, get out there, say I do, and then we're gonna push you off. But like with some really pretty photos and flowers and everything like that. I also start with vow renewals, $400 for a vow renewal, which that's not bad at all. I mean, you can remember that you love somebody for $400, right? So really like beautiful. And one of the things that I love about a Sandals wedding package is they let you actually test drive your wedding. So they call it a test drive your wedding. So what they do is you decide that you want to go ahead and book your wedding with Sandals, and they'll go ahead and give you like a discounted rate to go and stay a couple of months. It's 4 months or more before you get married. They'll give you a discounted rate on accommodations and everything, so you can actually see where you're going to like start your life together, like where you're going to do all of this and meet with the wedding coordinators and everything like that. And then once you do tie the knot, if you decide to celebrate your anniversary there with 7 nights or longer in like a butler or club level, they will throw in a free 1-night stay with your anniversary package. So they really do want you to like celebrate the beginning of something really spectacular.
Katie, I think you missed your calling as partly being a poet too. The way you're describing some of that, and I love the way you say that of whenever you're get married in one of these resorts or getting married anytime, is starting your life together.
I get misty at weddings. Like I walked through and was like the little voyeur that was trying not to like crane my neck, because it really is. It's like just the beginning of something so amazing, right? And so many stories and so many memories. And why wouldn't you want to start your whole life out somewhere perfect, and somewhere that when you say, hey, I'm getting married, people are like, oh, that's great. But then you say, I'm getting married and I'm going to have my wedding at this Sandals resort. I want you to be there to celebrate with me. And they're like, I get to go and have a good time at this wedding, and I get to go and enjoy myself too. So like you could be the most popular person ever. The wedding gifts will start rolling in.
Yeah, the wedding's not just at the, I'm not going to disparage any place there, but the local event center that is going to serve you, over warmed chicken and, rubbery potatoes. So you're going to get great accommodations, great meals, and a gorgeous location. And just the wedding chapels that they have there and the wedding venues, they are amazing themselves. A lot of them they'll be like right on the beach or even on a little dock, so it's over the water, out looking with glass windows behind whoever the officiant is that you're going to have perform the wedding service, and you're looking out over the ocean as you're saying your vows, and it just looks so amazing.
Yes, definitely very, very pretty areas. And not all of them are, you don't have to be on the beach. They have some, further back into like, the lush tropical areas of the resorts. And I think like what Katie said, that you can come and start talking to your advisor before, but most of it, they do it too. Even if you don't do the pre-trip, they'll do all of it as soon as you get there. You can tell them what kind of flowers you want, what kind of cake you want. You do your cake testing right there at the Sandals Resort, even if you just got there and your wedding is 2 days from now, so it's super easy. I mean, planning a wedding, a destination wedding always feels a little complicated because you're not there, but Sandals really does help make that so much more easier for you.
And as Katie mentioned, for the price that you're gonna have to pay, I remember when my older sister was getting married, my dad said, "You know, I'll just give you $10,000 now, just elope." So whenever you are dealing with sandals, when they take the pain and suffering out of planning the wedding and all the little details and everything, that they'll help you help handle it for you, it makes it as painless as possible without bankrupting you either. So, but as we mentioned before, there are so much other things to do at Sandals while you're there, besides getting married or relaxing on the beach or in the pools. That they do have entertainment from live bands, whether it's a steel pan band, reggae bands, fire dancers, beach parties, different theme nights, open mic nights, talent shows. So there's going to be something that you can do in the evenings to keep you occupied. And again, that will vary by resort that you go to. As was mentioned, that South Coast was a little bit more of a lively resort compared to Negril. So did you ladies get to see any of those or experience any of that?
Yeah, we went to I don't even know what it was called. It's a water show. I guess it would be a water entertainment show. And, they did some,
Water extravaganza.
yeah, I mean, they did like some singing. They did some like dancing in the water. They did some acrobatic stuff. The singer that was there, she was amazing. Her voice was just like, she needs to be famous. I mean, she was very good. And what did we see something else?
There was a silent disco party night that we were a little bit on the outskirts just because we hadn't made our way into the full on, and it was white night. So everybody was dressed in white. And then they had the silent disco party going on with the headphones and everything like that. And I think that a silent disco party, it's almost as cool to watch it from the outskirts as being in the middle of it, because you can kind of guess what people are listening to and everything else. They had lots of like just I'm sure they're very planned and stuff like that, but they feel very spontaneous and just kind of little moments that it's fun to see. It's fun to see adults kind of relax, like people that that if they were getting filmed and their college kids saw them, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, mom." No, but it's just such an easy, like, going, come as you are atmosphere.
I think you get that whenever you're going to be in the Caribbean, in the tropics. Whenever you're in paradise, life doesn't seem to matter so much. So you're going to kick back and relax and have a little more fun.
For sure.
So some of the other activities with the water sports, water skiing, wakeboarding, tubing, kneeboarding. Some of the resorts have aqua trikes, which I thought really neat. So like I don't know how you describe that. It's like a paddle boat that you kind of paddle like on top of the water. It's like a bicycle on the water.
The paddle boat's that's a good description for that.
Snorkeling, glass bottom boats, the hobby cat sailing or hobie cat sailing, windsurfing, paddleboarding, kayaking, boogie boards. So plenty to do on the water there.
Yeah, and it's all included too. So like, some of us went snorkeling, some of us just did the glass bottom boat trip, the scuba thing we talked about earlier, where you can get certified there. So you do have to pay for that. But once you've become certified, you can scuba like 3 times a day and not pay anything. So if you think about going on any other destination, all of those excursions that you can do, from even just that glass bottom boat ride that we took, that could be $40 or so per person, right? So like all of that stuff adds up, and it's all included at all of the Sandals and Beaches destinations.
That's always nice. And if there's ever a sport that you would like to try that you've never done, that it's a good
They
time to do it.
they had some of the most beautiful pickleball courts that I've ever seen. And as a pickleball widow, I will tell you, I've seen a lot of pickleball courts in my life. I haven't been on a lot of them, but I've seen some very good matches being played on them, and they were beautiful. Like they've taken the time to really make really nice courts. They're not an afterthought. Pickleballers get a little bit frustrated when they find out that they've just taken an old tennis court and like redone the lines on them. That's not the case with these. They're actual made to play pickleball courts.
Along those lines with the land sports, there's tennis, easy for me to say, squash and racquetball. They have croquet, horseshoes, bocce ball, shuffleboard, basketball, billiards, pool tables, table tennis, lawn chess, darts, board games, a fitness center, fitness classes, an indoor game room, beach volleyball, pool volleyball, even bowling at some of them. So I know that our local one park had tennis courts that then people took over for racquetball, and now they're redoing the whole thing to make it more inclusive with pickleball. So
Yeah, pickleball is a big thing, and I'll be fair, I don't know anything about pickleball. It's like tennis, but with the ping
it's
pong kind of with.
giant. Yeah, it's giant ping pong basically.
So, but yeah, I know it's huge everywhere. Everybody loves it, wants to go play. I've had people ask me if they can play pickleball at, on a cruise ship or going to Disney. Like, can I bring my pickleball rackets? And everybody wants to play pickleball.
And a lot of the cruise lines are converting and putting courts in and
Yeah.
making adjustments.
Uh-huh.
In Indonesia, badminton's the big sport. So my wife and I we played that, whenever we were first dating and first got married. And then she found pickleball now and complete switch of, okay, I'm going to try and do this. So that's
We
her
have
new,
badminton. We have badminton in our backyard. The kids love to play it. Fun.
we have that too.
Well, and like the beaches resorts, because they are more family oriented, they actually have a ton of things that you can do with your family. The one in Negril had an awesome water park that was so much fun, and splash pads and stuff. And then for like your little ones that are that Sesame Street age, they have a whole list of like Sesame Street activities. I saw that one of them was like Cookie Monster comes and bakes with your kids, and you bake cookies with Cookie Monster. And I thought, oh, little 4-year-old Katie would have loved that. Like what in my little Cookie Monster boots that I wouldn't take off and stuff. They do really cool things for families too. If you decide that that's like if you want to veer away from sandals and you want to do a full family vacation, the beaches resorts have a ton of really fun things, from little ones all the way up to those teenagers that you want them to be there, but they don't want to be there the whole time with you. So many fun activities and things like that for them to do too.
Yeah, and they
Katie's,
have that room that you could go into. It's like a play gym area where we know like things that kids crawl on, and they had a whole room full of those in the kids club space. So
One of the things that Sandals Beaches does that's awesome is they are certified for autism. So their kids clubs are set up to be inclusive of children with a lot of different challenges and things like that. So they really pride themselves in the fact that their staff are certified in autism spectrum, and they have a lot of things that they do in order to make everybody feel welcome and included in activities and things.
yeah, no, for
and what
sure.
to add on what Katie was saying, that with the Sesame Street characters, they also have a Sesame Street parade that they'll have the characters go through the resort. That you can see them that way too. And Katie said that 4-year-old you would love to bake with Cookie Monster. Whenever I was younger, my sister and I had fish. One was Cookie Monster, and one was Oscar the Grouch. So It's like our earliest pets. So even 44-year-old Matt would love to bake cookies with Cookie Monster still. If I took my little 4-year-old, I don't know who would have more fun, me or her. So
Yeah, we ran into some of the characters too. We got to see Cookie Monster and the Count. And I think it was just those two, but they're just kind of roaming around too. So that's fun for kids to see the
I
beaches.
think one of our other agents, she took her daughter, and they ended up coloring with Zoe. Like, I think like they were just sitting at a table and coloring with cute little Zoe, and I think about how that would probably like forever, just the memories of that and the picture and the stories that that you can tell from that would be awesome, right?
Yeah, for sure.
and that's another great comment that you mentioned there, Katie, and kind of alluded to more in there that when you think of an all-inclusive resort, you think of Sandals and the adults only, and we're going to be on the beach, and here's this gorgeous place. Why would I want to spend money to bring my little kid to one of those? They're not really going to get the most out of that. But with beaches, they have so much more you can do, and there's such a chance to build memories of here's my kid having this amazing experience with these Sesame Street characters that you're not going to get if you would go to your local beach and just get a hotel and do whatever. Did you have more? One, there's more things you can do that are included, but two, there's more opportunities for special moments.
Well, so like dumb little details, but things that matter. In the rooms, they have a chance for you to check out Monopoly or checkers or something like that. Something that you would do just on a normal Sunday night, right? Where you're just sitting around playing games. But instead of sitting around in your living room, you're sitting out on your private deck playing checkers with the ocean breeze and everything coming in. I mean, that I'll sit and play checkers with you over and over again if that's the atmosphere that I'm going to have.
And on that note, whenever you travel with kids, and especially younger kids, having a bit of the familiarity and the routine of your everyday lives of here's things we normally do, that even when you are in a strange and different environment, that you have some of that routine that they're used to just to help ground them in and bring them back to here. Okay, everything's the way it should be, just to keep them more comfortable. So that's always nice.
For
I know
sure.
that we just went out of town this past weekend and we saw friends and we brought Guess Who and Old Maid and my little girl's matching game. So she had something to play with her little friend. That it's the comfort thing of coming from home whenever you're in a new environment. So, are there any other things? Time to move on to the next topic. I think I've gone through most of my notes that I had written down, other than just a quick rundown of other locations that you can go to, Sandals and Beaches. As I mentioned before, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that's one of the newer resorts. Royal Curacao is new. Barbados has 2. Jamaica has 7. I mentioned Dunn's River is new. Montego Bay, the Royal Caribbean. Negril, which we mentioned, Royal Plantation, Ochi, and then South Coast. St. Lucia has 3. Grenada has 1. Bahamas has 2. And there's Grand Antigua. It looks like it's pronounced Antigua. It's Antigua. So make sure you say it correctly. And then Beaches has Negril, Ocho Rios, and Turks and Caicos. Any other additions you would like to add, ladies?
I just think that like, so no matter what you decide with a Sandals or a Beaches resort, I think that it's important that you first off contact us, because it's so much easier to have your travel advisor go through the options with you. There's no reason why you should go through 50 different room types to try to figure out what you want when that's our job. So we can make it easy for you. We can definitely save you some vacation funds by looking at the different offers that Sandals and Beaches has. And no matter what, if you're looking for a couples getaway, or if you're looking for a family beach extravaganza or anything in between, I think that we can definitely find something for you that'll make it easy. And all you have to do is make sure you pack your sunscreen and your swimsuit and be ready to roll.
And you don't even need to bring your sunscreen because I have it there for you.
Right. You might want a little extra though, that, you know.
A special brand that you like,
Yeah, a special brand.
And something you mentioned there, Katie, is this is kind of like when people plan a Walt Disney World vacation, is there are just so many options you can choose from with the 18 different resorts and where you want to go. Is it having a professional who knows what's offered at the resorts, just say, okay, I'd like this, and this, instead of looking through all of that yourself to save you time, effort, and potential headaches of wading through all of that. And two, with the savings, every week Sandals comes out with what they call a 777 deal. So it comes out on Wednesdays and it'll go to the next Tuesday. That it's 7 resorts that you get an additional 7% off for 7 days. So those actual savings you can get from those are wonderful. So when you're planning your trip, you can check for the that week's deals and see what else we can get you. Again, saving you more money, which is always nice.
Yeah, and there's always some type of a promotion. Like they had a Jamaica sale recently, where you could have you could get the catamaran, or you could get, there was some extras that could be added on during that sale. So, definitely having us look into those things is easier than just navigating it on the website. Because like Katie said, there are hundreds of room types and they're all worded differently.
As we mentioned, very descriptive room types. So, all right. Thank you very much, ladies. Move on to our sort of last segment, travel tips. Katie, you just gave us some awesome stuff there. Was that your travel tip, or did you have an additional one you wanted to add?
I have something just totally Sandals and Beaches Resort, kind of, I don't know, particular. So one of the things that I love about Sandals is Sandals has the Sandals Foundation. So when you go in and you check into your room, you'll notice that they have some little things about you can make a donation. Right now, it's Caribbean Heritage Month. So you can donate $15 to the Sandals Foundation. That is 100% of their charity projects. 100% of your donations go towards towards their charity projects. $15, and then they'll match it for $15. Some of the things that they're in 8 regions, 31,000 volunteers, and they do things like business training. They're partnered with Dwayne Wade for a game changer sports program for youth in Southern Florida and the Caribbean. They are improving healthcare. So they are bringing in, the Sandals Foundation supports mothers and babies and brings in equipment for awesome, like just diagnostic stuff that we take for granted here that we get every day. They're bringing it into these Caribbean places that need medical care. They also have a music program where they're supporting bands in the Caribbean. So they give the schools, they give them their uniforms, they pay for musical instruments and repairs for those instruments and lessons and the examinations for the theory level. And some of the bands that you will hear playing, especially in like Montego Bay resorts and stuff like that, they're actually graduates of this program that has been supported by the Sandals Foundation. They also do disaster relief, and they do sick kids programs like telehealth nurses and training for oncologists and pediatrics. So Sandals isn't just a really, really beautiful place to visit. They're actually supporting the 8 island nations that they're in and trying to make a difference for the people that live there. So if you plan on traveling to Sandals, give us a call, and then also plan on making a donation to their foundation, because after doing some research on it, it is a wonderful, fully worthy cause that they are definitely 100% of your donations are going to make a difference for the people that are making paradise for you.
And for those who are not quite aware, Dwayne Wade was an NBA basketball player with the Miami Heat and won a couple world championships several years ago. So, one, you can look them up. Incredible highlights, so you can enjoy those too. Thank you, Katie. That was awesome. Stephanie?
Yes, my travel tip is kind of the same for pretty much all destinations, is to kind of know what you want. What is the most important feature of your vacation, whether you're going to Disney World or to Sandals or beaches? You know, do you have to have the swim up pool? Do you want an ocean front? You know, you pick something that you absolutely cannot live without and let us know so that we can help find that for you. Because the last thing is, if that's a must do on your list and then you get there and that's not there, then you're going to be disappointed. So making sure you communicate and let, even with your family members, you know, what the kids must do is, you know, what your husband's must do is he, like, Katie's husband sounds like he plays pickleball. He absolutely needs a pickleball court. Or, you know, and then he gets there and there's no pickleball court. He might be a little angry. So know what your must-dos are and communicate them within your family and with the travel advisors that are working with you.
And be honest about those must-dos. Don't hide back. Well, I really don't want to say that I'm a huge pickleball fan because it's too cliche right now. Tell us that if it's important so we can plan it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Stephanie. Mine is, don't be afraid to leave the kids behind on vacation. So, no, right, no. Know what you want with the all-inclusive and what that specific resort offers, kind of going on with what Stephanie said, so we can help find the best fit for you. I also want to go back to what we were saying before, is that, okay, if you want to bring your kids and, you know, you can bring grandma with you to pack that, to help with the watching kids while you're on the trip, or, you know, your favorite uncle, whatever, favorite aunt, or, you know, if you want to pay for me to come and enjoy a vacation in the tropics, I wouldn't mind. So, but if you go to a resort that has beaches and sandals next to it, the beaches, we hit on it a little bit. We don't think we went into quite as much detail as we should have, is the kids areas in the splash zones. That the pirate ship area is an actual pirate ship that they build, and there's slides on it, water slides on it, and it's an amazing setup. They have even bigger water slides you can go down, and the stuff what the beaches offers for the kids is absolutely amazing. And if you go to the one that's near one of the Sandals resorts, if you need that little bit of time to get away, you can still have that adult away time for an evening or so without having to worry about, you know, I left the kids at home the whole time. You can still get your little bit of time away on one of those vacations, especially since they have the kids clubs that you know that your kids are going to be taken care of and watched after. All right, ladies, thank you very much. Now, if you have a destination or an experience that would like to have discussed on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you'd like to share your favorite destination or a travel tip, feel free to contact me. We'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Katie, how can people get a hold of you?
My Facebook is Dreams by Design Travel with Katie. My Instagram is Katie Dreams by Design Travel, and you can email me at katie@dreamsbydesigntravel.com.
Stephanie?
Fine. So my email is Stephanie L, don't forget the L, at dreamsbydesigntravel.com. My Facebook page is Dreams with Stephanie. My Instagram is dbdtravel.stephanie.
And you can reach me on social media with Facebook, X, and Instagram. It's at Matt with DBD. My email address is Matt, M-A-T-T, at dreamsbydesigntravel.com. The website for our company, if you would like to look up our profiles or, you know, see what we look like and read a little bit more about us, is dreamsbydesigntravel.com. All this information is in the show description. So if you want to contact us, you can to book a trip, or if you have any questions, you can look it up there. You don't have to write all this down. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend, spread the word about us if you like what you heard. Join us next time. We're heading out that. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.